Good morning. It is Thursday, the 25th of October, 2018. Right now, I'm going to take a look at the biggest movers and shakers in the cryptocurrencies overnight. And if we take a look at Bitcoin, we can see that yesterday at about this time, prices had just made a move up and they were looking like they were staging to start to go higher, but throughout the day the bears were doing their thing and pushing prices down. So overnight prices after this skewer down here, they've faded off a little bit and really not doing a great deal. When we zoom out to the 1 month view, we can see that since the 18th or 19th of October, prices have come down and hit this low 3 different times and resisted it so far. But I was watching Tone Vase doing a live presentation, and he was pointing out the fact that there is really no support or resistance in this whole area here. So if prices start to come into that area, they're likely going to go down and retest these lows. And there's a lot of bears out there that are believing that the downtrend is not over yet, that there's going to be more hell to pay yet in the cryptocurrencies. And there's no way to know. It's all just going sideways right now. And of course, with my simple trading plan, I'm looking for the 12-hour bars to have this moving average crossover while the prices are breaking higher out of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And we watch all the cryptos for that same thing. Now, when I went and took a look at Poloniex, we can see that there's quite a lot of red over the last 24 hours. When I looked over at Binance, there's quite a bit of red over the last 24 hours. And I went over to Etfinix, and there's quite a little bit of red over the last 24 hours. But at the same time, if I switch this to look for the big movers, there are some that have gone up 72%, 15%. This is pretty small volume. And US dollar has gone up 11% compared to Ethereum, I guess. Then we switch this on Binance and we see that Ravencoin is still doing some good stuff. Storm, TNT, Stratus, Key, some of these are doing 10-12% gains. And the same thing over on Poloniex. When I switch this over, library credits is up 10%, Stratus, game credits, Zcash, basic attention token, Golem. Some of these things are making some moves. But of course, it's always relative. So when we zoom in on the really close term views like that, you lose track of what's actually going on in the long term. And it's always important to take a look at the price charts. When I listen to the TV news and they say the NASDAQ is down 12% or 2% or whatever, they're always talking in the last 24 hours, and it doesn't have any point of reference. So what I want to do is take a look at some of these charts, the biggest movers. Let's start off with the biggest losers and see how much danger we're in with Primecoin, Decreed, and Pascal. Danger in that we are breaking down past important support and resistance levels. So Primecoin, what's the call letters for that? XPM. So Primecoin is down, 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 breaking past recent lows, all the way just a complete steady downtrend, breaking past the support and resistance, or into the support and resistance from back in February and March. Really, this is a very negative chart so far. And if we take a look at Decreed and Pascal, Decreed did come back, but we see over the longer period of time, it just broke out of a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. The moving averages crossed over. It made a serious gain. So if we zoom into the 1 week view, it's made a serious gain, top formation, and it's pulled its way back. So even though it's showing a pullback in the prices, it's really not that negative compared to what it's been doing in the last short while. And then Pascal and Rep. So if I scroll down to LMNO Pascal, Same thing here. It's shown some great strength and it's pulled back a bit, but it's just retesting these support and resistance levels from the breakout. So this isn't really that negative when we take it in context to what's actually been going on recently. We see the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. If I go to the 3-month view so that we can see the I see it's a little internal 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and it's come back to test that number 2, while prices overall have come back to test a larger number 2 formation from back in August and September. So again, this isn't that negative overall in the long-term trend view of things. And then we wanted to look at rep or auger. And here in the longer term view, it's got a descending range that it's broken out of. The moving averages are approaching each other. And then when we zoom in a little bit, we can see that it's done a run up and it's pulled back a little bit, but that pullback, so this all these negatives here except for prime coin are not that negative overall when we're looking at the whole market trend. So let's take a look at some of those losers on Binance and see what was going on there. QKC. This is a new one for me. I don't think I've looked at QKC. So QKC over the 3-month view, this isn't all that negative. It's done a really great move up. And we can see that it's a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom formation from August into September. It made a really nice steady run and it's pulled back a little bit. I would say that if I pull up the Fibonacci retracements and I go from the top to the bottom, that it's still got some room to come back to that 50% level, and it's just a normal, safe run or move in the market. So this isn't an alarming price move to see this down 10% when we're looking at the overall. And it's only on 24-hour volume of $745, so it's a very lightly traded coin. Even Decreed is only showing 500, is that dollars or Bitcoin worth of trading volume? I don't know what it is on Binance, if that's dollars or Bitcoin worth. I would assume it's dollars, but Decreed should be much heavier traded than that. And then GVT is back 7.8%. Let's take a look at GVT. And again, it's made an enormous run up and then pulled back just a little bit. So some of these negative numbers are not that alarming when we're looking at them. So Dent, let's take a look at Dent. So Dent is also a negative number, but it's not that negative compared to where the chart is in the long term, where you see that it's making a bottom formation from August, and we're not seeing prices in the cryptocurrencies breaking down to new lows as I'm looking through each of these, except for Prime Coin. What was it? That's the only one that's actually showing a pretty negative position there. So in relative to Bitcoin, so far these cryptos are not giving us a big panic outlook. But it is dependent on Bitcoin. As prices of this are finally determining which way they're going to go here, high or low, that'll sweep through all the cryptocurrencies. And so we're in a big drum roll phase right now, just waiting and waiting and waiting to see what actually happens in this. Now let's take a look at some of the bigger movers to see if there are some indications of these bottom formations taking off. So I'll take a look at Poloniex and go to library credits. So library credits in the 1 hour bar have come down, gone flat here through October, and they've shown a couple waves of surging prices upwards. So if I zoom back out to the 4-hour bars and here to the 12-hour bars, this is actually making a nice bottom formation here. And it's been on a big long downtrend for all the year, really down, 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 down. And now it's making a 2-stage bottom formation. It's not quite as nice as some of the others that we were seeing where they made a bottom and higher lows from August through September to October and then a bottom formation. But this one has gone down, lower from August, lower in September, lower in October, and now it's showing a bit of green candles there. So for my own trading method, the simple trading plan, this needs more development in this bottom formation before it really confirms itself, before it can be a trade. But that's not bad. Stratus we had taken a look at there. Game credits, let's take a look at that chart. So game credits is a better looking bottom formation. Hit a low in August, a little low in September. It resisted that low in October, and now it's showing a tick of strength there. So in the 3-month view, the moving averages are really coming close together. It is getting closer to being a breakout of this bottom formation. So with all of the cryptos showing bottom formations while Bitcoin is going sideways, that's bullish to me, but we still haven't got the confirmation yet. Zcash is making a new bottom formation from middle of September, the middle of October. It's made 2 bottoms here. And yet it's got to show more strength yet above these levels and above these levels really before this bottom formation is really confirmed. And as we zoom out to a longer term view and we're looking at it from over more than a year, it's been going down and down and losing value for a long time, but it's really resisted and staying at these historical levels. And this is really what I like to look at, is prices coming down to historical support and resistance levels and making that 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. The risk is always that the bottom formation will fail and that the prices are still in a downtrend, and that's what we're watching for day by day, each day, watching and watching to verify if it is the actual bottom formation in the entire market or is it just a consolidation on the downtrend. And so it is a tedious process right now to continue to go through all these markets and double check and double check. Basic attention token, I know it broke out recently and showing more strength. This is really great actually compared to all of the other cryptos. It's done a really great run and showing a bit more strength right now on 41 Bitcoin with a trading volume on a coin that's 4,100 Satoshi. That is a lot of trading volume in that. GNT, Golem Network Token. This is to be the world's greatest supercomputer where you can earn the tokens by renting out your computing power. You can see this was already a buy signal earlier and is showing strength, maybe even an add-on signal building up here. And if we zoom out to the longer term view, let's go to the 1-year view and zoom out, we can see how this has come down over the last 2 years basically, and it's at these same historical levels, making a 3-month bottom formation there. That's a really powerful signal. And yet, if Bitcoin is to drop from where it is, what will that do to all the cryptos? It's hard to say. So let's take a look at some of the big movers on Binance. Storm is one I'm not familiar with. Raven Coin, I can quickly bring up. It's a new listing on Binance, and that's why it's taking off like this. It was doing really well. It's hard to say where it's going to go now. This is where trades are out of my trading pattern, and I'm looking for top formations and places to take profit when it's made a 1, 2, 3 top like this. It could pull back to its 50% level. it could keep going higher. It's one of those things that my trading system steps aside from markets like this, and I'm back to looking for the bottom formations for the breakout. And then storm. Storm has already taken off. Not too bad, actually. Here's the 3-month view, and we zoom back to a longer term perspective, and we can see we're still, here's that August, September, October, and it is just taking off out of these support and resistance levels. So if I zoom back into the 1-month view, the buy signal was just yesterday almost. Just as it was breaking out, that's when the buy signal is kicking in. So this is very bullish to look at this market and see that price pattern and the breakout from that. That is awesome. I'm going to actually star this one so I can come back and double check it and see how it goes over the next few days, because this is a really good looking chart. Stratus and TNT. I think TNT is one that I'm not familiar with. And if it's breaking out, I want to become familiar with it. There's another one that's making a really great bottom formation. It gave us the pre-pump pattern already, pulled back, made this consolidation triangle, and now showing strength again. So there is another buy signal just overnight, basically, as prices are breaking above this consolidation level. Really good. So I'm going to star this one so I can come back and check it out as well. So even though there's some gloom and doom in the market, there are some markets that are making great formations and taking off out of them. What was that one again? Key and X. Let's do key first. Key Bitcoin. Here's another one that's making that same type of formation. It's a pretty new listing here, but here's our August low, our September low, the October low is a little higher, and now it is just starting to break above these support and resistance levels. So this is another one that is just making a buy signal overnight. So even though some of the markets are pretty pessimistic, when we start looking at the ones that are showing a bit of strength here, they're really coming out of fantastic chart formations. XZC. Let's take a look at that one. Great pre-pump candles taking off out of this one. Nice bottom formation here all the way through September. It hit off this a few times. It's given us a big pre-pump candle. This is a good alert that this one is going to be taking off. I'm going to star this one again so I can come back to it. These are really nice chart formations. That's beauty from all of this time coming down, 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 and then making this bottom and giving us these pre-pump candles. This is an awesome chart. Nulls is looking good. NP, one of the guys in our Discord chat is giving me a, let's see if I can find this one, NPXS. Oh yes, there's another one that's running along in very low price level. Here's our August low, September low, October is a little higher, and you can see it's making this triangle formation running along at 25 Satoshi, and in the 12-hour bars we see the moving averages just breaking and crossing over. Really great call. I appreciate having that one brought up to my attention. Fantastic. Love it. So I'll add that to my favorites. We'll start watching that one on a regular basis now too. And where is that one? It's not even showing up in the top movers. That's just a good pick right off the bat there. Let's take a look at Ncash. Another one. It's really great. August, September, October. We've got the descending wedge here. It hasn't really broken out of that support and resistance yet, but a break above these levels would be very good. And what are we running at here? 95 Satoshi. So I like to find these ones that are low Satoshi level. You can buy quite a lot of coins for a little bit of money. Again, I will put a star on this one. It's looking like a pretty good chart. And it's just starting to show some activity here. 24-hour volume. This has got to be, it's got to be dollars. Can't be dollars. There's no way that the biggest dollar thing on Binance is just $14,000. But 14,000 Bitcoin, that's a lot of Raven coin. That'll be going up higher than this then. Let's go back to these bigger ones. Go and then KMD. Go is really taken off. In fact, from 500 Satoshi to 1,000, it's doubled in price. And it's just a new listing here that really had very new from the 12th of September till now. I don't know where else that one is. Bittrex. It's been listed there a little bit longer from September. And we can see that when it was listed there, it really started off at a higher price and came down, made this bottom formation and took off out of it. That'd be a tough one to trade because there's so little data to it. KuCoin. It's got a little bit more data and it's pretty rangy up till July, down bottom formation, it drove up in August and then down into a bottom formation. So this is a tough one for me to trade, this market, but good to find it. Good to see it going. I'll have to watch it over time, but it's not, it doesn't fit into my trading patterns right now. At 1,000 Satoshi, you know, you put a few dollars into it. Poly. So we're seeing some pretty good moves, even though the market is kind of pessimistic and on the edge waiting for Bitcoin to make up its mind. Many of the alts are moving up. So if you have a coin you'd like me to take a look at while you're here, put it in the chat. I see there's a few more people joining. I know this is early in the morning, and so and I didn't send out an email or notification about this live chat, this live stream. If you've got a coin you'd like me to look over, put it in the chat. And if not, just say hello in the chat. Let me know where in the world you are watching from. If there are North American watchers, say hello. Let me know the province in Canada or the state in the United States that you're at. And if you're international, let me know what country you're from. Zcash, Gullum, we'll take a look more. Omni was a big crasher earlier. I already looked at Gollum, that's the GNT. Gas and Digibyte, let's take a look at those ones. So go back to Poloniex, bring up Digibyte. So Digibyte is laying along its lows here. July, we see a low in August, a low in September. It's actually lower than the October the 12th or 11th lows there. It's come back further. But as I zoom in, it's resisting where it is right now. It's not giving enough strength out of this to become a turnaround. It's not looking as good as some of those other markets we just looked at and marked as favorites over there on Binance. And then gas, I wanted to look at. So we got a few more people just joining in and watching. David G.I., good morning. Must be from North America. So gas is one that I've been watching, and I purchased in a little bit after it made this big spike up here. Prices came back and I bought a little bit of it, and the prices are looking pretty good. It's consolidating nicely. We've got the lows in August, lows in September, higher lows in October. And that it's consolidating into a tight triangle like this is interesting. We'll see where it goes. It's up at 82,000 Satoshi, so there's lots of room for it to go lower for certain out of this triangle. But since it's done such big moves in the past, I'm pretty optimistic that when it does move, it'll take off. Oh yes, Savannah, Georgia. Good morning, David. You're up early and watching this stuff before you head off to work? I like to get up first thing in the morning, check all the charts, and then on about my day. And then at 5 o'clock, I'm going to go through the spreadsheet on the bull market watch and actually update all of those to see where in our chart are we in that bull market watch. Let me see if I can grab that. Drag this over. So this is our bull market watch that has started off September the 9th. I did a whole bunch of reviews and some price prediction screenshots. So if I go into what we were just looking at, gas, and see what my prediction actually was. So I was saying that it's going to be going down and retesting these lows. This was in September. And then going up. Let me drag this over. Up to these support and resistance levels, back and then up again. Now always the timeline here, wherever these things put the number of days, is inconsequential. I'm not really looking at when this is going to happen, but I'm looking for this kind of shape of pattern to happen in gas. And so far it's been correct, where in September we've seen it come back down in October. And so from my predictions, it should be breaking to these levels, then coming back halfway to retest these support and resistance levels, and then taking off to go higher after that. So we'll see how that turns out over time. And I love having these predictions like this so that I can go back and review what's been going on. And then through the months since September, October, we've been going through and marking out which ones match up to the simple trading plan. So today at 5 o'clock, I will go through all of this list again, and I'll update these as to which ones are a buy, which ones are an alert, which ones are a fail, which ones are a near fail. And then I'll go through and I'll calculate out and update this graph so that we can see graphically where are we in the bull market watch. How bullish is the crypto market in general? And also, I'll put another plug in for my book here. I'm having a pre-sale on my book on the simple trading plan that I'm documenting through this spreadsheet. And the book has a lot more information in it than just the simple trading plan. If you're interested in this stuff, head over to introdocryptos.ca and sign up for the free training there. You'll get one free chapter out of this book, and it's the most important chapter, along with more training on how to tell when the bull market is actually really going to start. And this is based on research from the last few bull markets, where I went and did more than 200 screenshots to show where the simple trading plan, you know, like back testing, would have been good for buys and entries and exits in the market. So I see a few more early risers are picking up and joining us. And what I've been doing now is taking a look at the price charts to see where are all of these markets that are showing like down 8%, down 5%, down 2%, going through and looking at these charts to see how significant is this drop compared to what prices have been doing in the past. And I did the same thing over on Binance, where we started looking at some of these markets. And for most all of them, we're seeing a pullback after a surge in prices. So the pullback itself is not that significant compared to the entire bull market. But of course, it'll always end up being that Bitcoin sets the tone. And here we are on Bitcoin prices. We can see actually a trend in volume right here, where volume has been going down as this market is settling into its big triangle wedge formation. Zoom into the 1 month view, into the 1 week view, and I was pointing out earlier that Bitcoin prices have rejected these lows through this period 3 or 4 times now, but they've also rejected these highs 3 or 4 times, and we have got ourselves into this range of about 2% price move, and we're just sticking there. I was watching Tone Vase, and he's bearish. He says prices are going to go down to 4,500, and he was pointing out that through this area there's like no support and resistance at all. It's just a big wide open area, and he was doing projections of Bitcoin prices coming down to the 4,500 area, coming back to retest these areas. And I agree that if Bitcoin prices break lower from where they are, they've got some momentum. There's going to be a lot of bull traders who are going to have to get out of their long positions. That means they have to sell in order to get out of their positions. Move this back into place here so we can see more of the chart. So overall, from my review, we are still sideways in most of everything. Where when I'm looking at the markets that have moved up, or moved back rather, they are moving back from after a large gain, except for Prime Coin. Most everything else has showed a gain, and then they've just pulled back a little bit. And then when I was looking on Binance and taking a look at some of these markets that are making new moves higher, many of them are breaking out of really nice looking bottom formations. So there's still, overall to me, bullish indicators from checking out what happened overnight. It's not giving me the feeling that we are tipping over the edge and that things are going to be going down from here. And since we're getting those bullish indicators on all the other altcoins, I'm still optimistic for Bitcoin. The one thing to consider that I've been watching for and I want to pay attention to better than I did last bull market run, there's a period of time where prices were following along with Bitcoin. As Bitcoin was going up, so were the altcoins. And then there was a period about middle of July of 2017 where the altcoins started to go down as Bitcoin was going up. Every time Bitcoin surged, the altcoins would crash. Every time Bitcoin topped out and was coming down, the altcoins would have some relief and they would pop up. Then when Bitcoin surged, the altcoins would all crash. And this happened all the way through until the middle of December of 2017. Then it shifted. Whereas Bitcoin went down, the alts were popping up big time. And now we know that through 2018, alts and Bitcoin have been pretty much following each other. As Bitcoin goes up, so do they. As it comes down, so do they. And so now I'm watching to see that Bitcoin's going sideways, making this consolidation. All of the altcoins since August till now are making bottom formations and showing strength out of those bottom formations. So it's showing me that there's a lot of interest in the crypto world. I think that because we have the Security and Exchange Commission in the United States making a difference on ICOs and cleaning up the bad actors in the area, we see that in South Korea as well. We're seeing regulations in Australia. We're seeing better regulations in all of the crypto world. And now we're also seeing a whole bunch of stable coins being set up to make it easier for people to get into the digital assets. So overall, I'm very optimistic, and I'm still thinking it's a great idea to be looking through all of these markets to find those bottom formations and to get yourself positioned now of all times because of the price levels. It's it's a good time to be getting in and setting yourself up. One thing that I'm going to be doing as I'm getting more familiar with it is I'm going through all of the cryptocurrencies that are listed on Ethfinex. And I'm just starting this research. I'll bring this over. So I'm going through all of the coins that are listed on Ethfinex, making a list of them all, and starting to compile data on them to find out which charts are looking great over there as well. So when I look at these and I see that one coin is up 72%, it's on $418 of volume that it's gone up 72%. Another one 44% on $18 of volume. And here we're looking at WPR, and I'm not seeing it in this list right now. But each of these, as I'm going into them, they don't have a really meaty charts to make a distinction on what they're going to be doing. And I don't know about the coins themselves. And so this is going to be an area of study. And every Wednesday, I'll be doing a special on Ethfinex. So over this next week, before next Wednesday, I'll be compiling a whole bunch of data. And then on Wednesday, I'll do a special on that and reveal everything that I've learned about Ethfinex. With those volumes, we can make some nice pumps. This is what I'm thinking as well, is that with some of these coins that are low volume now, if you salt $20 into this and set your sell orders way up at 4 times value and 6 times and 10 times value, you know, you're taking that $20 and you're growing it. And it's the percentage gain that's the most important thing, is to put a small percentage of your holdings into some of these very low trade volume markets that have been, they're good enough in some way that they've been listed on Ethfinex. I'm assuming that somebody who knows what they're doing over on Ethfinex actually has had a chance to go through each of these markets and determine should they be listed here or not. Is it a scam? Is it just a dumb idea? And if these things are listed here, they've got to have some merit. They've got to have a basic amount of merit. And I want to be profiting from all of these. This is my goal. And the strategy is to find these bottom formations. And most of my strategy is to look for something that is coming down to historical lows. And so some of these charts don't have history. They don't have historical lows. And so I'll be going through all of them to see which ones have the most amount of history, to find out everything I can about determining if this is the lowest it's going to go. Because at 4,800 Satoshi here, this goes a long ways, it could still go down. If it goes down to 2,500 Satoshi, that's a 50% loss from where it is now. And I don't want to take my $20 and turn it into 10. I could just go and buy beer if I wanted to do that. Here's one though, that Gollum Network token, GNT, that has some history, and it's down to historical lows, and it's making a wonderful bottom formation here. And so this is definitely already one that I do have some of. So now I can go through and I can resort this list by which one. SNT is at 6 Satoshi and has had 9,000 US dollars worth of volume. So, okay, no, not 6 Satoshi, it's 60,000. It's just the zeros weren't on the end. But this is a great formation for me, is to see something coming down in August, September, October, flatlining all the way after a big downtrend here. This gives me room for it to double in price and to double again in price just within recent history. So this is the kind of thing that I'm looking for and to put my money into. And I'll be going through all of these things on Ethfinex. And next Wednesday afternoon, I'll do a report on that. So great to have you here, Patrick Gian. Thanks for the thumbs up. If you guys like this live stream and this morning review of the big movers and shakers overnight on each of these exchanges, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe and click on that little bell so you get notifications when these are coming up. I'll be going on and doing these over and over again. And if you benefit from them, I'm happy for it. But for me, it is a way for me to be prepared to make as much money as I did last time when the bull markets really took off. I took $10,000 and turned it into $100,000 in March to July of 2017. And then I took that $100,000 and turned it into $500,000 by December. And really, as I say over and over again, I made a $500,000 mistake in that trading. If I had sold out of all of my alts at this time and kept it all into Bitcoin, I would have made more than $1 million. And I didn't. And so that really kicks my ass. And this time, I'm watching like a crazy man, and I'm going to be doing all this data and crunching because I want to take my money and 10 times it and then 10 times it again from where I am. And I think the markets give us that potential. There's all this stuff going on. It's so many different great crypto projects right now that are just going to get the big world attention over the next while. So I'm very excited. But I'm going to sign off for now. That's 40 minutes going over some of the big movers and losers. And so far from my overall analysis, it's nothing to be panicking about yet. This hasn't broken down. It's not showing me that all the cryptos are going down to new lows, but I am not liking what I'm seeing in Bitcoin. Of course, any red tick at all is negative. I'm looking to see a big short squeeze because right now, from what I understand, we're at... do I have a video on how to set up my charts? Right now I'm using Coinigy, and I love their charts. It's really made a big difference in my trading. I don't use Trading View. I find that Trading View takes ownership and stewardship of your content. They don't let you delete anything. They don't let you delete your account. And so I don't want to even publish anything over there because they are just making profit off everybody else's publications and taking ownership of it. And so I do things over on Coinigy and I take the screenshots and save those. Just my personal opinion there. But the charts I'm using are pretty basic. What I'm doing is I'm using the Heikin Ashi candles, and I use those because they blend together a couple days worth of candles to make the current candle. And what that does is it averages things out just a little bit more so that you're focused on the trend more than the daily fluctuations. And then I've also used this add symbol option here to add Bitcoin. So I could say, let's find, here I could add in the price of Litecoin as a comparison. And you see Litecoin now in the background. And I can change the settings here on this so that Litecoin is a candle, or I can make it into a line, or I can make it into an area chart like I have Bitcoin in behind there. And I like to have Bitcoin in behind all of the alts so that I can see what the alts are doing compared to Bitcoin. And I could do the same thing for Litecoin or Ethereum. And I've also, if I go to this load chart layout, what I've been doing over on my studies for Ethfinix is to create a chart for each of the different markets that is a blend of the Bitcoin price in the candles, the price in Ethereum in the lighter chart, and the price in US dollar in the darker line chart here. So we can see that the price of this coin, REP, Augur, has gone down in Bitcoin value, gone down in US dollar value, and making a bottom formation, but it hasn't gone down so much in value versus Ethereum. And so finding these divergences is really key to getting inside information and early information about when a turnaround is going to be coming. So I do play around a lot with these charts. I find they're great over here. So if I just grab another one here, MKR, so we can see the price versus Ethereum is the main one, the price versus Bitcoin is the light blue, and the price versus US dollar is the dark blue. And seeing these changes actually makes me think that Ethereum is going to be a big move coming up here. So if I just go back to my Heikin Ashi and scroll down to Ethereum, there's Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Ethereum is making a beautiful bottom formation from the September the 12th low, October 11th low, but it hasn't given a turnaround enough yet to say that it's taking off. It's within that 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and there's nothing to do but wait for it. And I like to see how it's pulled back all the way to these historical levels. And I believe that this has happened because of all of the failed ICOs, where everybody paid them in Ethereum, and then those ICOs were making great money in 2018 and 2017 when Ethereum was very worth a lot. And as it's come down, they've all been outselling each other, trying to take their profit to run their projects. And of course, that's driven the price of Ethereum artificially down, artificial compared to its utility, just because we have so many projects that have launched on top of its price and they are selling it in order to have money to run their projects. So I think that it is artificially pushed down compared to Bitcoin, and that like holding a cork underwater, it's going to pop up. And so I'm watching closely for this bottom formation, and I'm watching all of those different alts now in their price versus Ethereum to start getting an idea when this is going to happen and when to move a bunch of Bitcoin over into Ethereum. So this is, I think, is an enormous opportunity, and it's just being held down right now. And I love that chart pattern. I've got to say that down to these historical lows, making a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that's taken more than a month to set up, that is beautiful. So hopefully that helps you there, David. So there's really just a quick detail there, but maybe I'll do a separate video and publish it, so I'll make it more formal, and it won't be just a live presentation of it, but I'll do something and call it that name and put it up on YouTube so people can find it. So again, if you're new here, be sure to click, let me go to, oh, I don't have it open right now. I won't go find it. Be sure to head over to introdocryptos.ca. If I bring up this spreadsheet, we can see the domain name here. Go to introdocryptos.ca and sign up there for some of the free training. It'll give you the information that I'm studying on how to determine if this is the bull market coming up and how to identify it. I'm glad that helps you, David. Thanks for the question. I appreciate that. Because I find I learn a great deal from the questions people ask me. And often people are pointing out markets, asking me to take a look at some markets, and it opens my eyes up. I find markets that I wasn't paying attention to. There are so many, it's insane. And so I'm hoping that on Wednesday afternoon, when I have my report on Ethnix, I think that's going to be helpful for everybody as I go through this entire spreadsheet. Well, you can't even see that. Move this over. Go through this entire spreadsheet of all these different markets on Ethnix and start getting an idea of which ones are lining up to that bottom formation protocol. And when they are, then I'll monitor this over time, and that will give us more evidence about how well this bottom formation trading strategy can work in many different markets, not just cryptocurrencies, commodities as well. Gold and silver are making some fantastic bottom formations right now. I'm pretty sure that copper prices are as well. There's a lot of great markets that this trading system works for. So again, if you're new here, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit subscribe. And I do these, trying to do them 5 o'clock in the morning to go over the biggest movers and just take an assessment of whatever's going on. And then 5 o'clock in the evening, I'm going through the bull market watch for cryptos, and we're updating everything on Poloniex to see which ones are a buy signal, which ones are a warning signal, which ones are an alert that are coming soon. And we've seen that a number of times now where these alerts have indeed turned into a buy signal by following through and watching this. So great to have you along. Look forward to having you as an email subscriber on the website. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning or at 5 o'clock this afternoon. All the best in your cryptocurrency trading, and thank you so much for hanging out here and checking these things out with me. That's it for this live stream. I will talk to you next time.